A medicine woman who conned Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe's government out of about $1 million by bamboozling ministers into believing she could tap diesel fuel from a rock, was convicted of fraud at the weekend, state media reported on Monday. Ratina Mavhunga, who goes by the alias of Nomad or Tajirira, found an abandoned fuel tank in the bush near the northern town of Chinhoyi in March 2007. She filled it with diesel, attached a pipe to the outlet and concealed it at the top of a rock, the Chinhoyi Magistrates Court heard. She then summoned top government official to witness her discovery. At a signal, a hidden accomplice would open the tap on the pipe and the officials would gasp in amazement as refined diesel poured down the side of the rock. A cabinet task force, dispatched by Mugabe to investigate the claim, returned to declare that Zimbabwe's persistent fuel shortages were at an end. Government officials and businessmen lavished money in vehicles on the medium until several months later, when a second group of ministers began to express doubt about the woman's bona fides. Judge Ignatius Mugova found Mavhunga guilty of defrauding the government of $500 billion in the now disused Zimbabwean dollar, the equivalent of about $1 million, and of misrepresenting to a public official that she could conjure diesel from a stone, the state-controlled Herald Daily reported. The magistrate also named one of the country's most powerful civil servants, Registrar General Tabewa Muddied, as an interested party in the fraud. Mavhunga became a household name in 2007 when she stated that diesel was oozing out from Maningwa Hills during the time when the country was suffering from fuel shortages. This discovery attracted the attention of senior government officials who were also members of the Zimbabwe African National Union Patriotic Front, ZANU-PF, led by Robert Mugabe. Mavhunga began to make hasty demands promising that she would make the product readily available. Mavhunga was given a farm, $5 billion, cattle and 3 buffaloes and a car. Whenever she was supposed to deliver, Mavhunga however went on to make new demands. This caused people to question her authenticity and/or capability to produce diesel from rocks. ZANU-PF government ministers without their shoes upon visiting a rock in Chinhoyi after being led to believe that the ancestral spirits were making the rock ooze refined diesel naturally. One of her demands was that Mugabe was supposed to walk barefooted to the diesel point for the product to ooze in large quantities for the benefit of the nation. Mavhunga went on to claim that the same rocks were capable of spewing jet fuel, petroleum and paraffin. She also claimed that she had donated gold to some senior government officials, which she had also discovered from her community. Prior to her 2007 claims, Mavhunga had already made headlines in Chinhoyi when it was allegedly reported that she had turned to become a man overnight. Arrest and trial. Mavhunga was arrested in September 2010, after Mugabe had ordered her arrest. During her trial, Mavhunga stated that she was in the dark to what was transpiring during the time she made the revelation that diesel could come from rocks. She further said that it was the work of Changamayar Dombo who had just instructed her on how to alleviate the problems which the nation was facing. Surprisingly, upon the time of her arrest, diesel had stopped spewing from the rocks. It was revealed that there was a diesel tanks inside the hill, and her aides who were also arrested were holding a hose pipe which pumped diesel out in front of ministers who had visited Mavhunga's shrine. Mavhunga also revealed that Didymus Matasa, who was then harboring ambitions to the president of the country, had offered her a farm. Mavhunga, however, refused to assist him to be the president and he withdrew his gift. Mavhunga's relatives stated that Mavhunga was a troublesome woman who was also causing havoc within the family and the community. Her aides were her new family. She was also accused of duping Chief Bapura, who in the end neglected his duties to serve the traditional healer. The judge presiding over Mavhunga's case sentenced her to 27 months in prison for defrauding government officials and the nation at large. Whilst in prison, Mavhunga converted to Christianity. Release. She was released on March 29, 2012, and it has been claimed that she has since resumed duties as a traditional leader. Is Zimbabwe's President Mnangagwa behind gold smuggling? One gold smuggler described Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa as his business partner. Another talked of Mnangagwa as a former partner whom he still meets. A third said he had to keep the president in the loop about gold smuggling operations. The president's niece outlined an elaborate money laundering and gold smuggling scheme that she promised to help execute. And one of Zimbabwe's top diplomats, hand-picked by Mnangagwa, dialed the president's wife to try to seal a laundering deal. Gold Mafia, a four-part investigation by Al Jazeera, has revealed how some of Southern Africa's biggest gold smuggling gangs plunder their countries to enrich themselves while helping criminals launder hundreds of millions of dollars. Undercover reporters from Al Jazeera's investigative unit, I-Unit, posed as Chinese criminals to infiltrate these gangs, which offered them a range of options to wash dirty dollars using Zimbabwean gold. But in case after case, spanning the gangs, one name kept cropping up as the person the smugglers claimed gave them a protective shield: President Emmerson Mnangagwa, or KD, as he is known in Zimbabwe. Mnangagwa became president of Zimbabwe in 2017, removing longtime leader Robert Mugabe. Now 80, Mnangagwa has promised to solve the country's myriad socio-economic problems, including the widespread scourge of corruption. Al Jazeera's investigation, however, reveals multiple links between Mnangagwa and the gold smuggling and money laundering schemes bleeding the country. They raise questions over how much Mnangagwa knows about these scams, and whether, as some of the smugglers said, he was directly facilitating them. $200,000 appreciation for Mnangagwa. One of the most direct ways to launder money in exchange for Zimbabwean gold was proposed by Hubert Angel, Zimbabwe's ambassador-at-large to Europe and the Americas, and his deputy Ricky Doolan. They described Mnangagwa as "number one" in their scheme, repeatedly insisting that he was aware of what they were doing. The idea was simple: money launderers could send their unaccounted cash to Zimbabwe through Angel, who enjoys diplomatic cover and so is not searched at airports. In exchange, the launderers would receive an equivalent amount of Zimbabwean gold that they could then sell for seemingly legitimate money. Angel and Doolan also offered to set up a meeting between Al Jazeera's undercover reporters and Mnangagwa, in exchange for a fee of $200,000. But Angel made clear that it should not be seen as a bribe paid to Mnangagwa. Instead, he said, this would be a way of saying thank you to the Zimbabwean president. That guy doesn't take bribes. Oh no, he won't. Angel, a self-proclaimed prophet who was appointed by Mnangagwa as one of his top diplomats, said. There's a big difference in appreciating somebody and bribing.